The top Democrat in the Senate is moving to force the Department of Justice to release all of the Epstein files or face legal consequences. It's in a resolution Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he is introducing as he accuses the Trump administration of withholding evidence in violation of the law. Remember, the DOJ just released a trove of documents related to Epstein after bipartisan legislation compelled them to hand over the records, but only a portion of its investigative files on Epstein and his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell were actually released, including pictures of former President Bill Clinton. A spokesperson for the former president writing in a statement late today, quote, "What the Department of Justice has released so far and the manner in which it did so makes one thing clear. Someone or something is being protected. We do not know whom, what, or why," end quote. The Justice Department has not returned our request for comment. Let's bring in NBC's Sahil Kapur. So, Sahil, help us understand these allegations from Chuck Schumer and what could happen next here.
Well, Senator Schumer is trying to crank up the pressure on the Trump administration over the Epstein files by threatening to force a vote to take legal action against the Justice Department for what he calls a blatant disregard of the law that overwhelmingly passed Congress. Schumer says, quote, "The law Congress passed is crystal clear. Release the Epstein files in full so Americans can see the truth. Instead, the Justice Department, Trump Justice Department rather, dumped redactions and withheld the evidence. That breaks the law," end quote. He's echoing criticisms from the authors of this law, Tom Massey and Ro Khanna, as well as Epstein survivors, who say that DOJ is in violation because this is merely a partial release of the files and it contains heavy redactions that critics say are unjustified or even illegal. Now, the law is vast in its scope, requiring a complete release of all Epstein documents and investigative materials with limited basis for withholdings, largely to protect victims, and it explicitly prohibits redactions to shield a public figure from embarrassment. Now, Ellison, in terms of what's next, Schumer says he'll force this issue after the Senate returns from the holidays in 2 weeks. And meanwhile, Massey and Khanna are pushing the House to use its own enforcement authority, known as inherent contempt, to fine AG Bondi. It all points to a growing backlash over the DOJ's handling of this issue, with the implication being that there's some sort of cover-up here, which the department, of course, denies.
So I guess, Sahil, one of the questions here is, will this still be relevant in 2 weeks? The Justice Department has said they will release the rest of the files before the end of the year. Do we know exactly when we could see more of those?
Well, the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, has said he expects the DOJ will release additional documents over the next couple of weeks. He didn't provide a more exact timeline than that. The authors of this law say they have no legal authority to delay, and they haven't justified the need for this extension. We have, however, seen some shifts in the posture of the DOJ already, which says it needs this time to protect the victims. In one case, it released a grand jury document totaling 119 pages that was completely blacked out before responding to a backlash by re-releasing it with minimal redactions. And President Trump's name is rarely mentioned in these documents, which is a contrast to his heavy presence in separate Epstein documents obtained by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. Finally, Ellison, the law gives the DOJ 15 days from the release of the files to report to Congress, summarizing all the withholdings and redactions, justifying them as well under the law. Ellison.
Sahil Kapur, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.